What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Ducati Biker channel. I'm here with the babies, got the Pikes Peak and the Hyper. Most of you guys know I just got off the track with the Hyper, raced the AMA Supermoto, did fantastic. I was able to get a really good amount of time. I almost crashed so much, but this bike kept me upright, so it was really nice. But I'm making this video to solve a problem that a lot of people, I didn't see anyone made a video online about, which is what I would call the loose handlebars. And so I have this completely forward, but as you can see, there is a lot of play and movement in there. So in today's video, it's going to be how do we fix this tremendous wobble that we have here, that we don't feel like your bars are a bowl of spaghetti. All right, so let's get into it and see what I can do. All right, guys, so I just managed to loosen the first bolt. And as you can see, it completely gets loose. So I'm gonna take this and slide the bar and then kind of just examine what's actually in the system. All right, so I removed the first bolt, and as you can see, I could slide this over so we could have a look what's actually under there. So there's like this rubber bushing, and then obviously the hole where the bolt goes straight through into the actual stem. These would be the two parts of the stem. So what I'm thinking is obviously this rubber bushing is the dampener. You want to leave that there, but maybe after the dampeners got used, you just need to take up a space, a little bit of space with maybe a spacer. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if I'm going to put a spacer right here, where we've been looking at, maybe just a nice silver spacer, or if I'm going to put another spacer down here at the bottom, because you can see down here at the bottom, there's a nice silver spacer. So I might add another spacer, that way it just fastens the screw in more, and hopefully that will take up for the wiggleness. But now we're gonna have to examine on this side how we're gonna access that bolt, because we got this big reservoir right here. I believe this is the coolant right here. So, and to get to that bolt, it's gonna be really difficult. And of course they put this right there where you can't get to that bolt. So let's see if we could do that real quick. But first I'm gonna see if I can find some more spacers. But just so you guys see, that's what it looks like under there in case you have the pasta handlebar syndrome where this thing gets really loose. I just wanted to take a video so you guys could see underneath it. Okay guys, so for my first alternative option, I just added another spacer. So this is the original spacer, this is another spacer. So you can see they're both about the same size. I'm just gonna slide that back in there, fast it down, and see if that makes up for the tremendous amount of play. All right, guys, that pretty much concludes my points. I believe when you make up more spacers there, as you can see now, the handlebars are a lot more stiff. They still have that dampener wiggle, but I was getting like chunk of space. As you can see now, it's nowhere near as bad. So if anyone has the handlebar wiggle, and sorry, I didn't film this part and I was just tying this bit up. You have to loosen, obviously, the coolant right here, reservoir. So you could do that right here, but then there's one that's right there. That's really tricky. Let me see if I could zoom up on it. That guy right there. I was able to get out with a little Allen key. You could muscle this little Allen key in there and then try to break it loose. And then I did the rest with my finger. So just being able to put my hand back in here and tying that with my finger, and then putting the Allen key back there and tightening this reservoir. Just check that it was easier for me to get what I would show. This was my concoction that I had to put up in here. It was not easy to do at all. I had to like have that down there and twist it at an angle with this off over to the side. I didn't unplug any of the tubes. I just had to like kind of jimmy this in there and then break it loose and then add the spacer to beneath and then put it back. So I didn't have to remove the crown. I just simply loosened that one out of the spacer, loosened both those bolts, removed both those bolts, and just moved the coolant reservoir over to the side enough to where I could stuff this in, loosen that bolt out, pinch it in. So if you want to make it even more tight, I suggest adding more spacers. But as you can see right there, that pretty much remedied the whole problem. But yeah, there you go. So if you have pasta handlebars on the Ducati Hypermotard 698 Mono or RVE, you could do that solution right here where you just add multiple spacers to the bottom right there. Just add more spacers to the bottom right there. That's one spacer, and I have it on the other side as well. And that way it just makes up for the play that you have within your stack right there. Other than that, that's what I did. That's what saved my handlebars a lot of wiggle trauma. But honestly, I might even put more spacers just to make sure it's more tight. But I'm gonna see what the dealership says as well. There you go. That's how I fixed the pasta handlebars on the Ducati Hypermotard 6 and 8 mono. Thanks for tuning in, guys.